afternoon and good evening, guys, based on the time zones you all are coming from. So, guys, before we start with the session, can you all please give me a quick confirmation if you all can see my screen and hear me loud and clear as well? Perfect. Thank you for the confirmation, everyone. So, my name is Neeraj Khedia, and I have been working in this IT industry for more than 13 years now. So, now let's get started. So, the main agenda for today's session is we are going to discuss on the entire concept for Java, how Java is structured. We are going to work on multiple basic Java programs, like we are going to work on calculator program in Java, factorial program, Fibonacci series, palindrome, permutation and combination, patterns program, string reverse, mirror reverse. Then we are going to discuss all the components of binary search, heap spot program, removing elements from array list, hash map, circular linked list, Java database connectivity, and then transpose software metrics program. So these all are the components that we are going to discuss as a part of the session step by step. So first of all, we are going to start our discussion on the calculator program in Java. So before we do that, let's have a quick introduction to Java itself for those who are completely new in this domain. So Java, as we know, is a high-level programming language. It is the father of Java. Again, that is James Gosling, and it was released by Sun Microsystems in 1996. And since then, it has been powering almost every device globally. And it's free and open source software. It was originally called as Oak, and later it was changed to Java. And it's the right ones run anywhere. So we don't have. So again, we can run this program anywhere, and we don't have to customize it as one of the features enabled in Java. And Java has multiple features. It is easier platform to get started with as compared to other languages like we have C, .NET, C++. It is robust. It is portable. That means we can create the program at any point of we can create the program anywhere. We can do that. And then it is well distributed. It is object oriented. That means each and every programming is done on the concepts of object. And then it is platform independent. That means we can create and design for any platform. There is no restriction on the platform dependency. And then it is secure because again, there are multiple levels of security that we can achieve. And then it is multi-threaded as well. So these things are the features of Java, and that's why Java is and has been the most widely used platform for which is powering more than billion devices globally. So first of all, let's get started on writing multiple programs in Java. So for that, before we can do that, we can take the help of any program editor we want to use. We can use Visual Studio Code, we can use Visual Studio, we can use Eclipse, we can use any kind of program that we want to execute one by one. We can use IntelliJ, we can use Visual Studio, or any of the IDs will do. We don't have to stay restricted to just one particular ID. For example, suppose if we want to work with any of the IDs, and we can use IntelliJ as well. We can use IntelliJ ID, which we can download as a community version, or we can download the ultimate, which simply integrates the web and enterprise development both, depending upon the use case. All right. So we can use any of these two versions as per the requirements. So currently we are going to work on IntelliJ ID, and here we can click on create a new project. We can choose the Java program and the additional libraries in case you want them. We can define the command line. Let's give this a name. Let's name this project as Edureka. And now we can click on finish. So this is going to initiate a new project for us. Now, here we have the access to all the project files. And now if you want to get started, then we can simply create a new file in the project. We can right click on it, and here we can define what kind of file we are going to create, and then we can get started. Let's name this as the first program that we are going to work is for calculator program. So let's do one thing. Let's name it as calculator itself. All right. So now here we have the access to the entire Java program, in the access to the entire ID that we have created. So now to get started, here we are going to work on the calculator program. So let's do one thing. Let's create a calculator program itself that we are going to use. So in calculator, we are going to ask for the input from the users, and then we are going to start working on it. So let's do that. Let's start a new project, guys. Just a moment. All right. So here we are going to work on the entire Java components here. So first of all, we are going to work on creating a package file. So here we can define, for example, if you are going to work on the package for Edureka. So here we are, let me zoom in the font here so that this can be easier for everyone to see as well. So let's increase the font size. All right. So first of all, we are going to start with the package. Now we can name the package as Edureka. And then we are now once you name the package as Edureka, now we are going to import the entire scanner class from Java. So here we are going to use import.java.util.scanner for taking the input from the users. Scanner has to be in uppercase. And then we are going to define a class. Let's say we define the class as public class. Let's define this to be now. Okay, we are going to create something for calculator first. So let's work on calculator first. So we can name it as calculator. And then here we can define public static void main string. And then we can define argos. Now, here we are going to first of all use the scanner to take inputs from the user. So here we can define scanner reader, and here we can define new scanner, and then we are going to use it from where? From system.in. Now we can define what exactly we want to display as an output to the end user. So we can define system.out.print because this statement we use for displaying a message. So here we can define the system.out.print, and here we can ask them enter two numbers because we want this to work as a calculator. So here we can ask them to enter two numbers of their choice, and then we are going to take the input. So whatever they enter, we are going to take it as an input here. So first of all, we are going to declare a double value. We're going to declare a double value here, and because the users, they can enter any value here, right? So here we are going to use a double value, and here we can define as the first number. Now we are going to use reader dot next double that we have defined, because we are going to define what kind of value we are going to treat the first value, the first number, and the same thing we can do for second as well. Double second, we are going to read it from the reader dot next double. We can define it for next double, and then we can define this for, again, we can ask the users to enter the operand. For example, they want to add the numbers, they want to subtract it, they want to multiply the numbers, whatever operand they want to work on, we can ask them to enter the operand that they are interested in, that they want to work on. So here they can enter that particular operand that they want. So basically here they can work on, or suppose here we can ask them a statement as an enter, for example, let's say here we can ask them for, let's keep it simple. Let's ask them for entering the operator, and then we can give them multiple options such as plus, minus, divide, or multiply. We can ask them what kind of operand they want to enter here, and whatever they enter, that is going to be showcased to the end user. And then we can define the operator. So we have to save whatever they have entered as an operator. So we can define character operator, and then we are going to again use reader dot next, and then we are going to use char at because this is a character that they have entered, and here we can save it an index value for 0. And then the result is also going to be a double value in case the number is entered as a double value. And then we can define the switch operator for each of the operations, because we never know what kind of operations the user may be entering. So here we are going to use switch for the operator. So here we are, because there are multiple statements, so instead of using if else again and again, we are going to use if else, we can say switch operators. So in case the first, in case they select plus, then what should happen? In case they select first, then the result should be first plus second. The result should be first number that the user have entered plus the second. This should be the result. Same way, and then we can break the entire loop. Same way we can define if there is another case. So here we can copy this up just to avoid confusion. So same way here we can define one for minus, the other one for divide, and the last one for multiply. So and then we can define in second case it should be first minus second. In the third case it should be this one divided by second, and in the fourth case it should be multiplied by the second. Right, and then we can at the end we can define the default value. We can define the default as in system.out.print f. So let's print this in a new line here. So because we don't want this to be printed in the same line, so here we can define print f. And then we are going to define the operand. First of all, we are going to enter the value that the user has entered as in %1f. And then we want to enter the operand. And then we are going to enter the second operator as in 1f is equal to %1f. And this is going to be read as first operator and the second value. Can I execute this? So here, as you can see here, now we have the program executed. So here we have to enter two numbers. So we can enter two numbers. Let's say we enter 24 and 55. And here we can choose from any of the operators. For example, here we can choose plus, and we can see the entire result being shown to us. All right. So basically here it is going to display the operator, the first number, the operator, and the second number that user have entered. That is what we had defined as a part of system.out.printf. Because at the end we have to display the users. We have to display what exactly we want the users to enter. That exactly is what we enter there. All right, so now next program that we are going to work on is how we can calculate a factorial of a number. So for factorial, let's create another class. So for source, let's say we create another class. Let's create another class by the name of factorial. So here we are going to calculate the factorial for the numbers. So let's say we have the package for Edureka, and here we can, again, since we are going to take the input from the end user, we can use the same in the scanner class. So here we can use java.util.scanner. And then for the factorial class, we are going to declare everything in public static void main, and then we can declare this in string argus. Now we are going to use scanner object for capturing the user inputs. So basically here we are going to work on the factorial components. So again, we are going to use a scanner class, so scanner, and let's name it as scanner itself. Let's create a new object by the name of new scanner from system.in. Then we are going to display a message so that user can enter the numbers. So here we have system.out.printf. Let's suppose print ln, and then we can enter number, and then we can, whatever number they are going to enter, we can take it as we can declare this as integer as number, and then we are going to use scanner for recording a number, or we can say whatever input the user has entered. So here we can define next integer. And then we are going, no, the user is called, we have to call the user defined function fact. So for that, we can, if we can initiate the factorial, we can declare factorial. And here we are going to find the factorial for the number that is entered by the end users. We're going to find the factorial for the number that is entered by the end user. And here we can declare use system.out.println. And let's print a statement. So here we want to define the factorial. So here we can write factorial of the given number is, and then we can define what the factorial is. Factorial is that we have calculated based on the number that is entered by the end user. And then we can define static end. Here we can define static end as factorial for the integer n that we have entered, the user have entered. Suppose here we declare int output. Here we declare int output, and if n is equal to 1, we can return the value. We can return the value to be 1. We can return 1. And then we can apply the recursion function calling itself. Function should be calling itself. So for that, we can define the output. We can define the output for the given thread. So here we can define the output for factorial, that is n minus 1 multiplied by the number itself. It should be multiplied by the number itself. And then we are going to return the output itself. So if you execute the same thing at your end, you will be able to find the entire result as well. For example, here we have entered the factorial number as 4, and now we can see the factorial has been given to us as 24. Same way, if we re-enter, suppose if we find the factorial for another number, let's say we want to find this for 7. Again, we can find, and here we can see for factorial for 7 is 5040. So 7 is simply means 7 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4, 3, 2, and 1, and that is what the result that we get. So the next program, now we had seen the calculator, we had seen the factorial. So now we are going to resume on the other programs that we have discussed as a part of the session. So now next we are going to calculate the Fibonacci series up to n numbers. So basically Fibonacci series, it's a series in which the next term is the sum of the preceding two terms. For example, 0, 1, 1. So for example, 1, 1 is going to be the sum of the, for example, let's say if we talk about Fibonacci series in simple layman terms, let's see what exactly it is. So let's go to our notepad. So now we are going to create Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. So basically this is a series in which each and every other number, they are going to be the sum of the preceding two numbers. For example, suppose if we talk about 0, if you talk about 0, 1, and 1. Now the third number is going to be the sum of the first two numbers, as in 0 plus 1, that is 1 itself. Then the next number is going to be the sum of these two numbers, that is 1 plus 1, how much? 2. Then the next number is going to be the sum of these two numbers, that is 2 plus 1, it is how much? 3. Then the next number is going to be the sum of these two numbers, 3 plus 2 is how much? 5. Then the next number is going to be the sum of these two numbers, that is what? 8, and so on. So this type of series is called as Fibonacci series, and this exactly is what we are going to create in as a part of the program. So here let's create another class for by the name of Fibonacci itself. Let's suppose here we name it as Fibonacci. let's do one thing here. We are not going to take any input. So here we define the entire class as Fibonacci, and then we can define public static void main string argus. And in here, we have to first of all initialize the constants. And for initializing the constant, for example, here we can mention we are going to initialize. We are going to initialize constant. And for initializing constant, what we are going to do, we are going to simply declare a constant first. So now here we are going to declare an integer. Let's suppose we declare this as n, where we are going to create this for 100. Then we can declare, let's suppose t1, where we want to keep it as 0. Let's suppose we keep it as 0. And another number for t2, where we want to keep it as 1, as we had discussed. So here we have n defined as 100, t1 as 0, and t2 defined as 1. Next, we can print a statement as system.out.print, and here we can define up to how many numbers. We declare up to how many numbers. So here we can declare plus n plus, to avoid confusion, let's give a space here. So here we can declare n, and then we can declare up to how many numbers we can declare it. And then we can define it to be the integer. Now here we can declare the entire integer value. Now here, let's suppose we define the sum, because Fibonacci is what? The sum of the previous two numbers. So here is going to be the sum of t1 plus t2, as we discussed. That's what Fibonacci is. And here we can declare t1 is equal to t2, then t2 should be equal to sum. And then once we execute it, and then once we execute this current statement, we would be able to see the Fibonacci series return to us up to a number of 100. Yes, we have to declare the statement as well. I think we missed out on declaring the while statement. So here we have to declare the while statement. That means while t1 is greater, or we can say, because here we have to declare the entire number. That means it has a while loop. So here we have to declare while t1 is less than or equal to n, then that's how the entire statements have to be executed. Then that's how the entire statements have to be executed. That is what we have to declare. So now if we run this entire program, we would be able to see the entire Fibonacci series being returned to us. Can you see this? We have 0, plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and 89 as the entire Fibonacci series that we have entered. All right. So now we can also work on writing a Java program where we can use it to, for example, suppose if we want to reverse the letters present in the given string, then we can execute this. So now we can create another one. So for example, for reversing the alphabets, we can create another one. So here, let's say we name this as string reverse. We want to reverse the string that is going to be entered by the user. So we can create another class for string reverse. So let's say we define the public class here. So here we can name it as public static void main string argus. And then in here we can define to add an auto-generated method. So here what we can do, we can define a string as str, and in here we can create a string, suppose welcome to Edureka. Here we can create another string, and then we have the main purpose here is to reverse the string that is being entered. So here we can define string array, and then we are going to split the given string. So for splitting, we can use split, and then we are going to use a for loop. So for string, which we are going to use to save as temporary as a part of string array that we have saved. So for this, we want to define, now here we can simply use system.out.println. So here we can use system.out.println, And here we are going to print out the temporary number, the temporary character that is going to be entered here. And then we can define another for loop. So for here, for we can define if the integer value is for the I that we are going to create, if the integer is 0, and for I less than 3, and then we can increment the value for I, and then we can define character. So if the character value, so whatever the, because here we are going to inverse these entire string, so here we can define the string as s1, and here we are going to use the same string array that we have said, string array, and this is for the index value for I that we have entered to char array. And then for the same, we can define another statement as for integer. Suppose for integer j, we can use s1 dot length, s1 dot length minus 1, because this is what we're going to use for inversing this character. And for j greater than or equal to 0, we can define j should be, we are simply going to now earlier we have incremented the value, now we are going to decrease it. And then we can define a statement for system.out.print, and then we are going to define for s1, and in the index value is going to be j, and then we can type in, we can display by using the system, we can display the result by using system.out.print. So once we execute this once we execute this statement, we are going to see the same string being reversed to whatever we have defined as welcome to Edureka. So I guess it's almost time now. So let's say we wrap it up for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining and have a great day ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.